Hello and welcome to ETBFSI.com. My name is Amol Dete and I'm in conversation with Baskar Babu from Suryoday Small Finance Bank. So welcome on the show.
Thank you, Amol. Pleasure.
So to begin with, my first and the foremost very important question is specifically related to lockdown. Obviously, you belong to a essential services category, so most of the banks are also operating. But I would like to know the lessons that you learned in this lockdown period. Obviously, lockdown is still going on, but what are the changes that you have seen specifically into the lockdown period? What are the changes that you are making to the operations, and what is the major lesson that you learned in this period of lockdown?
Quite a few learnings, Amol. But one
Mhm.
significant learning is that things can be as effective as normal even if people are working remote, working
Right.
from home. So it
Hmm.
wasn't really a requirement that all of us have to be at the same place to be as effective. Uh, what was pleasantly surprising is that we have also been able to extend that in terms of connecting up with the customers. As
Right.
you know, the microfinance customers are met in person every week, every fortnight, every month.
Right.
And we realized that we can have as much as connect or a better connect by calling up the customers over phone. And some of them we are even trying to reach through WhatsApp calling. So kind of things have changed. Probably sometimes only when you're forced by a necessity or by the external environment, the pace with which you adapt is probably unbelievably faster. So that I think is a very key learning. So we never ever would have thought of in the wildest of dreams that the entire corporate office of banks can operate from home. So not just us, I think across the board, all of us have realized that we can work very effectively, collaborate very well, and probably attend meetings in time, operating from on a remote basis. So that's I think is the key lesson probably has been in terms of unconventional methods are as effective, except that I think we should have the audacity or the guts to try them out full fledged.
I know most of the banks that started in last 2 to 3 years. Obviously, yours is one of them. Whether it's payment bank or small banks, has an advantage of adopting digital to a advanced level. How did you utilize your digital services or digital technologies, and what are the changes that you saw specifically in this period of lockdown? Because what is happening is people are responding to digital more than the typical physical activities at the branches.
Yeah, obviously with the caveat that we'll have to keep in mind that
Right.
the volume of transactions or the volume of business on has been substantially lower than it would have been, except on the transaction side, in terms of people depositing, withdrawing cash, and so on. On the asset side of the lending, it has always been at 10-15% of the capacity. At full capacity, we are yet to really test it out how it really kind of works. But the fact is that you can rejig the whole lot of process. We are sometimes not doing the process because they were done that way, and we never questioned that. We probably we're all too busy building businesses and volumes and scale that we never asked the fundamental question: is that the only way to do it, or it can be done very efficiently and very differently? I think that's I think we've tried and learned it in the last couple of weeks.
And any difference have you seen in terms of accounts? Are the people are opening still accounts? Are the people are asking for the credit? How has been the response from your bank?
But broadly, I think from the credit demand side, it has been very subdued. The first 1.5 months, and then probably going along is a question of we also reached out to customer to ensure that they are safe and secure. We did not follow up on installments. We did not even talk about moratorium. So first things first, that employees should be safe, customers should be safe, and they should be comfortable and come out. The key of the entire banking volumes have been focused mainly in terms of essential within the essential service, with this cash deposition, cash withdrawal, credits, debits, fixed deposits, renewal. So it has been just that. It has not been a full suite of banking products which either the customers wanted or to avail of. Neither probably were providing that on a full-fledged manner. So they were, I would say, the basic of banking transactions were contributing, were business as usual. The rest of it is almost on a standstill.
Okay. Anything specific new trend that you have seen in last 30, 45 days in terms of credit? Because there is a demand for credit also from the people specifically. So did you see something there on the retail side?
As things are, lockdown is going to be relaxed, as people are all going to come back and it's going to back to action in some sense, there will be a big revival in demand. People would need money, they would have exhausted their
Right.
say immediate savings in terms of the regular expenses. So we have introduced the working capital product. We realize that at this point of time customers require a working capital product of 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, whatever amount we give. It should be in a way that they draw out when they require, and if they don't draw out, they are not going to withdraw and they are not going to pay interest on it. So we all collaborated and introduced the working capital product for the microfinance customers. Probably it's the first in the industry. Working capital, very small working capital of 5,000 rupees to start with, targeted at our existing microfinance customers. So we have kind of contacted the customers over phone, did all the processes, and then they come to the office only to activate, to the branch only to activate the account. We have till now done around 400 accounts. The initial target is to full-fledged do it in the two branches, one in Tamil Nadu and one in Orissa. Within the next 10 days, we'll do it in 10 branches. The intent is to take it to 100 branches in the next 1 month. So that's the product we introduced. We realized that people would need credit and would need credit when they want to. So it's not a term loan that they require immediately, probably it's a working capital. So having done that, it's initially the limit is 5,000, but we'll keep increasing it as we gain experience and the customers become comfortable. The second one which we tried is we always meet the customers in person. So today we said that, no, can we do virtual center meetings? Can we just dial in the customer, call in the customer or video call, and customer connects, and then we go through the entire process of microfinance, the process, without us meeting being in person. So the experiments, we just started with a couple of them in the last few days. But if it goes well, the entire microfinance, the core, the way in which it will be done will remain the same. But however, it need not necessarily be in person, meeting the customers, and customers also may not prefer that in the next couple of weeks or months. And that may be the new way of microfinance in version 2 or version X, as I would call it.
Right, quite interesting. Just to clarify, is the product is already available in the market, right? And any data, any numbers, how many people actually opted for this particular credit?
So we rolled out initially for the first two branches, and we targeted 1,000 customers. 400 of them are already availed it. So there are
Okay,
restrictions in terms of people coming out with the branch if it is a little far off. So
right,
the customers have to come spend 5 minutes in activating their account for security reasons, and thereafter the limit is set. So initially, as of now, it is 400 customers in two branches. But with this experience, we are now rolling it out to another 8 branches. Total make it 10, and within a month's time, we'll roll it to 100 branches. In 3 months' time, it will be available to all our existing customers. So this would mean that a customer did not borrow just because the entire group is ready, or everybody, or the bank is giving a loan at a particular point of time. They take in only to the extent that they want and at a time they want it. They need it only for 2 days. They will take it out today, and day after tomorrow they will deposit back. So which one we have rolled it out at a substantially lower rate as part of as cost of acquiring customer is very marginally low or substantially low because they are existing customers. So the pricing is also very beneficial to the customer.
right. Yesterday, in fact, Wednesday itself, the finance minister came with a lot of relief packages for the NBFC and the MSME sector. The government has announced an important package of 20 lakh crore, out of which 3 lakh crore, is the chunk that the MSMEs are going to avail. Obviously, there are many changes also the government has done in specific MSME sector. Since you are catering to that segment, micro and small and medium enterprises, how do you see the amount which has been segregated specifically for this sector, and whether is it enough for the MSMEs?
The classification has been a big challenge for years in terms of capturing the exact gross investment, whether they are micro, small, medium, or they well past it. I think that has been eased out substantially. That releases quite a bit of an effort and time for both the customer as well as the financier. Most of our customers, current existing microfinance customers, are micro entrepreneurs. That said, they don't have a certificate of an micro enterprise. So will be waiting for details from SIDBI and from DFS in terms of who will be eligible for and kind of what kind of rate. There is a pricing cap which is going to be. So what is the pricing cap going to? What are the details in terms of implementation in terms of the credit guarantee scheme? The amount at this point of time is good. It's kind of going to accelerate the lending to that particular segment. And alongside, if the businesses survive first and then thrive, it will be a game changer. So probably guarantee for MSMEs will probably much bigger than it was in the past to the CGTMSC. So we were just waiting for the details. Yesterday it was announced, but a very
Right,
good first move, including
right.
making the classifications far more simpler than it has ever been.
Right. But overall, again, one more point on this. Overall, the collateral free loan, which the government is talking about, is it really beneficial for the MSME sector, and how important it will be under this current circumstances? Because the major worry is that the bankers do not have any collateral against which they can borrow money from the banks. I mean, the MSMEs.
This is for immediate working capital, for paying salaries,
Right.
paying electricity, getting the basic raw material to get started, get on the feet. So it was extremely important, and it has to be collateral free. However, that said, after kind of giving out these loans, the very important one, both from the financier as well as with the government, is to inculcate a culture of repayment as soon as things come back on feet. If the NPA on this segment becomes very on the new loans becomes very high, now though the fact is that it is now being extended, this particular 3 lakh package is for existing standard accounts. So which means
Right.
customers have been doing decent business, have been repaying their loans reasonably in time. But however, if there is a delinquency on this goes up, then it may not be sustainable. So as we give out the loan, it will also be a responsibility of the bankers to kind of inculcate a sense of repayment of these loans for it to sustain through. For an immediate purpose, this will be very, very useful for them. They don't need to be spending now a couple of next few days, few weeks, amidst all the other challenges they have on the demand side and supply side. Even on the working capital, they would have been spending time. That I think will come down with it. As a SBI chairman said yesterday, it will be just a 3-click or a 5-click process at best for most of us.
Okay. On that note, again, thank you so much for talking to TBFSI. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for sharing your perspective.
Thanks, Amma. Good day.
And my dear readers and viewers, thank you so much for watching. And please pardon us if you find any technical glitches in this video. As you understand that we have shot this video working from home under the technical glitches and limited infrastructure. Thank you so much for watching ETBFSI.